Okay, now we're going to do the windshield. We're going to finish this up. So the first thing that we're going to do is we need to fillet these edges. So we're going to select our fillet tool and we're going to put 0.5 in, I believe. Let's look at our drawing. So it says 0.5. So I'm going to click here and here at 0.5, click the check mark, and that is done. Now we're going to shell out the inside. We're going to give it that glass look. So I'm going to go to the shell feature, which is up here in the top, and I'm going to put 0.05 in and click the check, and that didn't work, so let's undo that. We'll do shell again. I'm going to click on the bottom. I forgot to click, and the ARD measurement's still in there, so if I click check, there it is. It's shelled out. Now the next part we're going to do is we need to create an offset plane to extrude this piece that slides into our passenger section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to plane, which is on the top, and I'm going to say offset from plane. And it's asking me to select a planar face. So I'm going to zoom in and I want to select that ridge going around the windshield. And then down here it's asking me how much do I want to offset that, and I'm going to put 0.67 inches and press enter. Now I have this plane that's out of here and I can actually create a sketch on there. I'm going to start a 2D sketch, select my new work plane, and I'm going to start sketching on there. I'm going to pause it and do the sketch, and I'll come back so you guys can see how I did this. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see, to get all this on the page while I'm working with you guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start sketching here. So I'm going to start with a rectangle, make sure I don't have any constraints, and I'm going to dimension this to, it is 1.970, and this way it is 1.540, and I'm going to make another rectangle inside, and I'm going to use I'm just going to dimension this, so I want this to be 0.05 all around the distance this is, so I'm just going to use my dimension tool, go to 0.05, and then do the top, and I'll click here, so it'll save my saved dimension. Just getting around here a little bit quicker. And then I'm going to round off those corners to 0.150. So I'm going to use my fillet tool and I'm going to put 0.150 in and click on that corner, there, this corner, do the insides too. Okay, and then I've got to make my little squares around the outside. I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to make them a little bigger at first. I'm going to let it lock into that collinear constraint, and I'm going to take my vertical constraint and I want to lock it in with that midpoint. Now what just happened was I clicked the wrong one first. I want to say I want this one. Why is that not working? Sorry, I was using the wrong one. For some reason it needs a vertical one here because our sketch is turned, so watch for those dots. And then now these are both set at our midpoints, so I can put in our dimensions now, which are 0.05 and they stick out 0.044. So I'm going to go 0.05, and that changed it over here, and this is 0.044, and on this side I'll do the same thing, but I'll just click on 0.044 over here, and it should be the same. We're going to make those last two rectangles over here. You guys can find those dimensions, and then I will come back in a second. Okay, after you've made all your dimensions, we're going to just figure out where this goes inside. So I'm going to project this geometry, and I'm going to do that same trick where I'm going to take the midpoint of this. I'm going to find the midpoint of that line that I just projected, and that should center it. And then I'm going to take my dimension tool, and from the bottom edge of that to the edge of there, it's going to be 0.711. Now I've got that all sketched. I'm going to go to Finish Sketch, and I'm going to extrude, and I'm going to click on the edges, and then I need to go back. You could go and trim this, but I'm just going to click on each little square. And we want to flip this direction so it's going that way. And we're going to go distance to next. And it's just automatically going to lock into that place there. So when I click OK, we've got that inside. And just to get our work plane to not be there, we're going to right click, go to visibility, and it'll get rid of our work plane. And now we've got our windshield. The last thing that we want to do is click here. We're going to go up to our parts browser, and we're going to look for clear glass. Or maybe it's under glass. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Just to make sure, we're going to go here and go to clear green. It's not actually glass. So go to clear green, and that should make our part clear green. So save this as however it says it in the instructions. You can save it as T9 windshield with your last name or your initials, just something so you know it's yours. And I would like last name initials, even though the instructions say, or last name first initial, even though the instructions just say initials. Click save, and you're ready to move on to the next part.